So how do we ensure, as companies, that people develop fast enough? And that's a very good question to an HR director, because then he can chew his pencil and think, how I'm going to do that. I'm going to build a very big learning organization that ensures that we are on top of that. The problem with that is, and I agree to Fleming, it's very slow. The other thing is, they basically don't know. I mean, how would an HR learning expert know what a lawyer would need to know dealing with China? He doesn't, or she doesn't. The only one who knows what he needs or she needs is the lawyer dealing with China, because they find out where they have gaps in their knowledge in order to ensure that they can do an efficient deal. I mean, if we build on the fact that nobody goes to work to destroy anything, but everyone goes to work to build something and to become a success, I mean, people want to know. If they have the personal characteristics we talked about, they don't want anyone to come and tell them what they should know. They find out themselves. They're very self-driven, and they want to define their own future. So actually, when I was at Vestas, I was starting wondering, how could I move learning, the responsibility for learning, from HR to the individual? So much easier. We couldn't do it. We couldn't just say that we did it. We tried it because we had to during the crunch, which just stopped all training. Apart from a few vital training programs, what legally was required and what we thought was supporting the leadership in understanding their roles. Apart from that, no training. The interesting thing was at that time that the score for development did not decline. Interesting. So how can we do that? People took actually charge, as Fleming expresses it, for their own development. It's not that we didn't develop people. They actually just took charge of it themselves. They understood there was not too much money. They also understood that the learning management system we were in, they were looking in that, finding out what they could actually support them in their own development at that point of time. But there was no challenge. There was no wake-up call saying, now you have to do it. And what do you have to do exactly? So then I met Fleming after what, 4 years, Fleming? 8? And then Fleming had the exact same thoughts. So he came up with a solution and told me about it, and I thought that might be very, very interesting to work with, because it actually had the structure that gave people the wake-up call, that helped them find out, that supported them in their struggle for their own development. And I thought that was really, really, at that time, very great. I still think that, because when we look at the world, the individual demands, if you want, at least now we're talking about leaders and successful leaders, you have to adapt very fast to change, which means you have to learn very fast. And you have to do it on an individual basis because the world is so specialized as it is.